Yo, it's your boy, Orion, one half of the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Back at you with a new video. NFL updates with your boy, a Buck fan. A Brandin Cooks trade again and again. He keeps moving. Grab the luggage, buy a new house, bring the girlfriend because you're off to a new team. I mean, the D-Hop thing still looks bad, but at least now Brandin Cooks is with the Texans. So at least they get something there, for Deshaun Watson to be somewhat happy. But I hope everyone is having a good day. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy either on here or through patreon.com/NWSF. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. You can also donate at our GoFundMe, www.gofundme.com. And you can go to NW Space Sports Space Fanatics. Money Maze in the building. Club for Life in the building. What's up, bro? What's good? Shriek. What's good, man? I'm watching the Eagles fly, as you know I would be watching, versus the New York Giants back when Michael Vick was QB. This was about 9-10 years ago. I imagine some of y'all might be watching that as well. Pierpont in the building. What it do? Rob Navarro, Rams fan. I'll miss Cooks, but at least we have two tight ends or two second rounders. That's what that means. Okay. I was just saying if that was tight ends that we were writing there, and 2/3 now, I think. Raiders, a guy says. What do I think about Jordan Love to the Saints? That would be a great fit. That could be a Drew Brees, replacement if you don't think Taysom Hill is good enough to be the guy, which I do. I like Taysom Hill better than Teddy B. And Teddy Two Gloves is now going to be running things for Carolina. But seeing this throwback footage of Michael Vick throwing that nice lefty reminds me of Tua. Got that nice zip on the football. And this is an awesome game. You see guys like Thrash out there and some old school guys. You definitely know it's old school footage. But I love seeing that 2000s to 2010 NFL. So if you guys aren't doing anything and you're watching, what is it on? Is it on Fox Sports? I don't think it's on NFL Network. What is it on? Yeah, Fox Sports 1. NFL's greatest games, the Eagles versus the Giants, December 19th, 2010. I fucking love it. Odin's Child in the building. What it do? Club for Life. I hate Brady now. Hey, man, I'm starting to really come to terms that Tom Brady's on the Buccaneers. Like, it didn't really sink in until about maybe yesterday or the day before. Like, as you think about it, like, I see the jerseys being revealed, but just the fact that he's old as hell, and I would have taken anybody, I hate to say it, even Trubisky or Andy Dalton over Jameis with all the pain and suffering with the idiot mistakes with the fumbles and the pick sixes and the interceptions. But to get like my top two choice, either Ryan Tannehill or Tom Brady, it's only a Band-Aid. It's going to be for a year or two. But if he can get us to the playoffs both years or even 1 year and just be significant, not necessarily be feared in the NFL like the Chiefs, right? But to just be respected, to be decent, above average, a contender, hopefully as we get further along in the season. And just having Brady there brings that. Even if he's old, he's still going to have more touchdowns and interceptions. He's not going to flop and, go for 12 touchdowns and 30 interceptions or 15 touchdowns and 28 picks. I don't really see him ever having a negative touchdown to interception ratio before he retires. He's that damn good. We just need to give him some, help up front. But I think Jordan Love to the Saints would make sense. There's a lot of teams that might take a gamble on him. He has the most upside out of any QB that's in the draft. Jordan Love, Tua, Herbert, Burrow, because I think we expect a lot from Burrow to be a Pro Bowler probably within the first 4 years and to be the next Ben Roethlisberger, type of guy, a big name QB, the Mahomes of Cincinnati. We were expecting Burrow to do what he did at LSU to do in Cincinnati. And if he doesn't, we're going to be really disappointed. I know a lot of us want that next wave of, generation of quarterbacks after Breeze, after Brady, after Roethlisberger, and even other guys like Stafford and a few others are getting a little bit older. So it'll be nice to see the next wave come in. And I'm really rooting for, as an NFL fan, not just a Bucs fan, but as an NFL fan, Bengals, and I hope they can beef up the O-line, beef up the team if they go that route. With Tua, Dolphins, Chargers kind of make sense. I want him to be the next best thing. Not as good as Steve Young. If he ever even gets to a smidge of Steve Young, Tua could be a Hall of Fame kind of quarterback. I'm not expecting that, but I think he can be better than Mark Brunell or Michael Vick. He can be somewhere in between Steve Young, Tua Tagovailoa, Michael Vick, or right at that Michael Vick level, which is pretty damn good. Even the people that hated on him at Virginia Tech, he was amazing, and he had a great career in the NFL, even though he wasn't really able to, bring the championship home. But I always liked his game, and lefties are smooth. And then for Herbert, my boy from Oregon, if he slides to 23 and the Pats pick him up, I think they can really develop him as a QB. He doesn't have to go to the Patriots. He can go to another team, but I think he'll definitely adapt with Josh McDaniels and Belichick faster than if he went to the Chargers and who they have, representing their GM, their owner, their head coach, their OC. I'm not saying that the Chargers have a bad team or bad coaching. I don't really think that's necessarily true. I would shake up a little bit of the coaching moves, if not this year, soon, to maybe get a new head coach in there. I don't think he's awful, but they just need someone that's going to be able to develop these QBs. And if you're trying to develop that Breeze, that Phillip Rivers type of guy that you had in the past, I'm not sure if you're going to get that with Herbert. He's really inconsistent right now. He's tall. He's, smart, right? He can make the moves. He can make all the throws. He's got good legs. He can run the post. He can run the out route, the in route, the zig route, the zag route, the up and out. He can pretty much run all the hitches. He can run all that. But he kind of gives me that Josh Allen kind of feel where he's raw, right? So sometimes in big games when I watched him, I was front row at Autzen, multiple times, in his career. And so I got to see him front row, second row, third row behind the duck bench and on the opposing side, USC. And they got guys from the NFL coming at him. Can he make the throws? And from what I saw in his career, that's the one weakness that he has at this point is that when pressure's on him and he's got good players on him, the accuracy starts to fall off, just like anyone would with Tua or Joe Burrow. But there's some throws where, the pressure's limited or he's open, but there's guys kind of around his feet where he doesn't make the throws where I'm like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like overthrows a guy out of bounds. Like, what the fuck, man? And then it goes to third and long. Or he underthrows a guy where he's wide open and he's just got the jitters. So hopefully he can improve on that. But we'll have to kind of see. But as far as Brandin Cooks and the video, it's one of those things. You got rid of D-Hop. I think the Cardinals, they could be one of those surprise teams. The Buccaneers with Tom Brady, you're expecting it. But with Kyler Murray and D-Hop, I think people are going to, Christian Kirk, I think they're going to kind of underestimate the Cardinals a little bit. Everyone thinks they're going to get fourth place, but be better with Kyler. And there's a chance that they could be on that Seahawks-Rams level a year early, like maybe 2 years down the road with another draft pick and another couple studs coming in from free agency. I think closer and closer with Kyler Murray's development, they'll be in the consideration for that number 2 spot, regardless if Seattle and the Rams are right there, because the Niners are pretty solidified, at least for now, unless they have some significant injuries. They should win the division again. I mean, this is their second year in their probably 4 or 5 year run, just like when they had with Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman and Kaepernick, right? You're not going to be able to sustain that longevity for more than typically 4 to 5 years, just like the Legion of Boom with Marshawn Lynch and what we saw there. With Richard Sherman and company. You have a great team. The goal is to get to NFC, AFC championship at least 2 times out of 5 years, win at least once, if not twice. And if you go to the Super Bowl twice, you got to win at least one. And if you go once, you got to capitalize and take advantage. But the ultimate goal is to, if you're good, like a great top 5 team, you want to get to the Super Bowl twice in 5 years to make sure you can kind of capitalize, and not everyone's the Patriots. So, NFL updates with the Bucs fan, your boy Ryan, and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button now or on your way out. Donate to your boy, either on here or patreon.com/NWSF. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. Mike Allstott with the stiff arm. Gah! Right on the Niners, but that's my, team growing up as a kid, so I'm really rooting for the Niners to have some success. But as we know, the Chiefs and the Kingdom of Kansas City, I don't see them slowing down one bit. If you can listen to hot takes, you can listen to Rome, you can listen to Colin Cowherd, Skip and Shannon. If you really watch football and football like your boy and you can relate to me rather than maybe some of these big celebrities, the Patriots dominated the league by cheating and maybe sometimes better coaching, better OC, Josh McDaniels and Belichick, and just having that continuity of having the same guys go to work with you for 20 years. Essentially they had Romeo Crennel and, they had a bunch of other guys that they've had in and then went out and coached in different places that they had temporarily for OC and DC. But what I'm getting at is that the Kansas City Chiefs are the new England Patriots. And this is year 2 of their dynasty. And as long as Mahomes is there, they could string along a little bit longer of a traditional run if they keep him, which they're going to. So instead of maybe a 4 to 5 year period, I see something like maybe a 6 to 10 year period at the peak, the high end peak, and we're in year 2, right? And then this could stretch all the way for if Mahomes plays 15 to 20 years. I honestly feel that the Chiefs could end up having 3, 4, 5, 6 championships in a 15 to 20 year period. Mahomes is that good. It just depends on the D coordinator. If you can keep great ones in the building, you don't lose too many pieces that are calling plays, which they're going to lose next year. Same thing with the Niners D coordinator. They're going to lose him to a coaching position somewhere else because of the success. But if they can keep adding great pieces like Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, Frank Clark, it showed you if you bring in Pro Bowl caliber talent and change your D coordinator, right? You can win the fucking Super Bowl, not only get to the AFC Championship game, which I would have rather seen the Ravens versus the Chiefs, because that's what we wanted. I wanted Niners, Saints, Ravens, Chiefs, and some of the teams kind of fell short and let me down. But we had a great season, and you know me, I develop the tape, I break it down, I watch the routes, offensive line, defensive. I'm watching a lot more than just the average fan. Or even the average guy maybe on, radio, TV, podcasting. I really like to break down film. That's probably one of my favorite things to do out of anything besides recording. I love just being able to break down the game film and not to see the obvious. The quarterback getting the exchange from the center, the wide receiver running his route, running back to see if he picks up the blitz. I like to be able to see the offensive line work. Who's pancaking out there, bringing out Miss Butterworth and the pancake and syrup and knocking guys over like Quentin Nelson on the Colts, my favorite offensive lineman in the league by far. And then also being able to see the D-line, the hands, the feet, right? The vision, the burst, and seeing the linebackers and how they run things like the quarterback, at the safeties, if they're blitzing, are they playing zone? Are they playing man-to-man? Are they playing nickel? Are they playing dime? Are they playing cover 4? You feel me? You feel me, NFL fans out there? You know what I mean? This is why I love you guys. This is a whole nother level. This is like NFL Network-ish. You get this ESPN, Fox Sports, and your local broadcasting booth. But that's the thing I really enjoy, and I think you guys can see the passion, you can see the energy, but it's just something that I know a lot of y'all like the same shit, and it's taking the NFL knowledge to another level. Not being the smartest guy in your crew, not being the smartest, guy or girl, letting everyone know, hey, if I need football news, or if they know what's going on with my team or other teams, you're going to get everything here. Fantasy football and just an in-depth look on the NFL, as if NFL Network were going to do it, but above and beyond NFL Network, if that makes any sense. Because if they would actually break down film, I think that would be something that a lot of us would watch. If they actually break down the film with the X's and O's like Madden used to do, and you make some drawings on the TV and actually break down football. Because a lot of y'all know it from Madden, like, obviously myself growing up as a little kid, Madden 92, 93 on like the Genesis and working its way up to PlayStation and all the other, systems there. But I really do love it. And this Brandin Cooks trade, it's going to open up the door for more opportunities for the rest of the receiving core. We'll see if Everett and Higbee are still on the team after draft day. If they're one of them, maybe Higbee gets moved in a trade, or Everett. They're both nice. I like them both. And then you got Cooper Kupp. He's fantastic. A local kid from out here that I've seen play up close and personal. Very underrated. As far as that white Caucasian receiver, the perfect match for the New England Patriots and Josh McDaniels. If something ever bad happens with the Rams and Cooper Kupp and he's not happy, that's the first place he can go, and he's going to be like that Wes Welker, the Amendola, the Julian Edelman, type of receiver. Because how Patriots, they love them white wide receivers that are quick, good burst, good hands. And then, that gives Robert Woods a chance to shine. And a few other players really get a chance to shine, like the backups, right? Because that's really what it's about. It's about the backups being able to shine, being able to get an opportunity to show, hey, I'm Josh Reynolds. You know what I mean? Every time that someone was hurt, Brandin Cooks, Woods, Kupp, he stepped up in a big way. So I think that they're not going to pick, another wide receiver with that pick. If they were smart, they would go O-line. Personally, if I'm the Rams, Gurley's no longer there. You're looking Malcolm Brown and a few others, running back by committee, which is nothing wrong with that. Look what the Niners did with it. The Eagles did with the Four Horsemen, right? You can route and have, different sections of running back one, third down running back that's good with the hands, that can get you those key draws or screen passes, and then having maybe a goal line back. You can kind of mix it up, but it's always good to have a few. But, man, it's just kind of crazy to me, though. They need help. They need help at that O-line position. It's really going to be critical, because if the Cardinals are going to be one of the sleeper teams, we don't know how good the Lions are going to be, or some of the other teams that are kind of on the bottom. Normally it's the Bucs and the Cardinals and the Lions and the Jets, and I'm kind of rooting for some of these bad teams, the Dolphins, to be good again. But the Rams need to beef up that O-line. When Whitworth left, it showed you how bad they were. Gurley wasn't 100%. Goff's accuracy went down, right? He was forcing throws. Receivers were getting hurt. So it's one of those, the defense wasn't as good as it was the year before. And even though you got the best player in the league on defense, and arguably in the whole entire league, not named Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Donald, right? You need more. Losing Sue definitely impacted them, and having him come to the Bucs. But I do like the Rams' chances of bouncing back, but I don't know how much they're going to bounce back with the Seahawks, the Niners, and a upcoming D-Hop, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, Arizona Cardinals team that could maybe make the playoffs this year or next year. If they do it this year, it'll be 1 year ahead. But if they end up overachieving and splitting with Seattle, splitting with the Niners, and splitting Seattle Niners, and in the division, if you start splitting some of those matchups, think about that. I don't know if a lot of people are actually thinking that's going to happen, with the teams in the NFC West. Niners, Seattle, the Rams. But if the Cardinals can find a way to split with all three, is it really a year or two, depending on who they get on defense and the O-line? That's what worries me. The star position players, the running backs and the wide receivers and who they have around there, that doesn't really, Chandler Jones is good on the opposite side, but I need to see the secondary. Budda Baker's nice. Safeties, corners, linebacker play, the backups. The O-line is typically trash. So, it's like Tampa Bay's typically. The Cardinals and Tampa Bay usually have trash lines. So I got to see that too as well. But we'll see. Brandin Cooks, in fantasy, it's good. Josh Reynolds will be a bigger option. Kupp and Robert Woods will be bigger options. But now, him going there, instead of D-Hop there, he could be the guy with him and Will Fuller, because Will Fuller can't stay healthy typically for a whole season, right? So let me go to the top and acknowledge everyone. Money Mays, Club for Life in the building. Ryan Strick in the building. Rob Navarro in the building. Pierpont. So how you like the fantasy page? I do like it, man. I'm going to support you to the end. And I'm going to go and answer a lot of these questions too. I think it's cool, anyone that can, run something new, if they have passion in for it, fantasy football. You and me are on that same kind of hardcore level. I could charge, $9.99 on Cash App, during the football season for a year's worth of help. And as you know, week to week, sometimes just winning your week and having a one or two good, pieces of information from someone you trust that plays for big money leagues, $500, $1,000, $1,500 for first prize. You're going to trust their opinion, especially if it's someone like the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Me and Marcus, we definitely know fantasy football. Club for Life says, I hate Brady now. I love it. I absolutely love it. I play with him on Madden. Just got done playing a little bit with him on there, and it's really going to be something special to see what kind of magic that he can pull out of the hat. And I don't expect a Super Bowl or an NFC championship game in the 2 years, but this is the NFL. Anything can happen. But if I can just get to the playoffs, one of the 2 years, that would just make me ecstatic, since they haven't been since 2007. What's my take on the virtual draft? I don't really like it, but with this coronavirus, the Rona, we don't really have any choice. Let's see, Jordan Love over Justin Herbert. I disagree. I think Jordan Love has some potential. Marcos Pineda, $5 donation. Go Hawks. I wish we signed Brandin Cooks. The thing is you don't, because you got Tyler Lockett, who's better. Cooks, there's nothing wrong with him, but he gets hurt every year. He gets a concussion. He gets injured, so he doesn't stay on the field healthy for the full year. And I'd rather have DK Metcalf. You feel me? Boy, DK Metcalf. He's going to have the breakout season. Terry's, scary Terry McLaurin. He's a nice one too. We've had some, A.J. Brown from the Titans. But DK, he might be able to have top 6 wide receiver, of the season. In this second year breakout year, I feel that he's going to have a huge year with Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett. Tyler, get to the door and lock it. I like him better too. So let me go over here. So Jordan Love over Justin Herbert. I disagree. I think Herbert's upside is he's got more talent. And I think Justin Herbert can be better than Joey Harrington. I think Justin Herbert could be better than Marcus Mariota. And I'm a Ducks fan, hardcore Ducks fan. I go to the games, just like Marcos Pineda goes to the Oregon State Beaver games. We usually get tickets very close. We go a few times a year. Sometimes as many as 3, 4, 5, 6 times, throughout the 6 or 7 home games that are, during the college football season. But to see it up and personal, I didn't see Jordan Love up and personal. Jordan Love's got upside, but like Marcus said yesterday, boom or bust. He kind of has that feel. Jordan Love could be a boom or a bust. But I don't see Herbert, Burrow, or Tua being a bust at all. If anything, they'll be above average, and then hopefully 1 out of the 3 will be Pro Bowl level, if not all 3. Let's see here. How do I like the fantasy page? I love it. I love it. You need me? I got you. Burrow should be good. Well, for the garbage Bengals line, it concerns me. Might take a little while. I think Jordan Love will do well with the Colts. That would be a great spot for him, Eddie James, to fall. You know what I mean? To learn under someone like Phillip Rivers, Hall of Famer. But what about Jacoby Brissett? He's no just, redheaded stepchild. He's no just some garbage player. I think Jacoby Brissett is kind of on that, Teddy Bridgewater level. I don't think there's that much of a drop-off. I mean, both guys, are they starters? 100%. Not for every team in the NFL. Maybe for about 5 or 10. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't think he's bad like Tyrod Taylor. I don't think he's that bad. If you had him or Cam Newton, obviously people are going to say Cam Newton, will give you more upside only when healthy. But Tyrod Taylor doesn't really lose a lot of games for you. He's just kind of short, undersized. People kind of take him for granted, like kind of a Doug Flutie-ish, type of take you for granted kind of football player. But I would take Tyrod Taylor on the Bucs, just, as a backup, or if Brady wasn't there. I mean, if that was an option, it wouldn't have been my top option. But, I think he's a little bit better than people give him credit for. Tyrod Taylor. A cool thing happened to me when I was on Twitter. I ended up making a post, and it showed Levante David and how great of a season and what type of player he is. Pro Football Focus, a 91.4 coverage grade, best among linebackers. And then I wrote, most underrated linebacker in the NFL besides Demario Davis. Hashtag big facts. And I didn't even put at Demario Davis at his Twitter handle, and he actually messaged me and liked it. And liked it back, liked the comment, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So we'll see if maybe I can get a follow for a follow on Twitter. I posted that, so I don't know if he'll follow me. But me being obviously a Bucs fan and giving him the nickname AKA the Glue, because he holds everything together on the defense, that shows you that I do love Demario Davis. And I thought that was cool that Levante David didn't even respond to my tweet, right? But Demario Davis actually did, and I checked to see if it was the verified Demario Davis account, and it was. So that was kind of cool. So, something that I wasn't expecting today. I mean, even if it's just a like from Kay Adams or a retweet, from one of the players that we know from here, in Oregon on the Ducks. But just to be able to interact with some of your, NFL heroes or NFL people you look up to. You never know who's watching or not watching, but I absolutely was thrilled. I was like, oh, this got to be like some fake Demario Davis account. This can't really be the real, a.k.a. the Glue, Demario Davis. So I know Saints fans will be a little jealous there. So, but hopefully maybe I can have a conversation with him. I tweeted at JJ Watt, too, when he made a little post about, following your dreams and keeping up with it. And I mentioned our channel, so we'll see if maybe he's ever watched us. And I imagine NFL players have seen it. I mean, if you look up YouTube and look up just games, Giants versus Eagles, like on right now, on YouTube, you're going to see me and Marcus's mugs or our channel on a bunch of NFL. So maybe some NFL players watch us on a regular basis. We just don't know about it. Lenny D in the building. What's up, man? What it do? Ryan Strick says, Ryan, the Chiefs have returned 20 of the 22 starters from the Super Bowl. They're ready to run it back. Agreed. I absolutely agree with you. And you know what I mean? Me being a real fan, not being this, crazy person. I break down the tape. I break down the film. Patrick Mahomes is such an amazing quarterback, and this team is just in the beginning stages of what they're really going to become, a dynasty and something that we can look back on. They'll be comparing this team to the Patriots, except not the cheating, as far as length of success, how many years in a row. And I honestly feel when it's all said and done, you got Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, John Elway, Dan Marino, Aaron Rodgers, all those guys. I think Patrick Mahomes legitimately could be a top 2 quarterback when it's all said and done, all time. And, as long as there's no injury or something crazy that happens, I mean, to say that now, only a few years in, but I got the ESP. You feel me? I can see the future to a certain degree, and a lot of times I'm right, and I'll freak out my friends or parents. I can predict scores or predict winners, but I really do feel this team, Patrick Mahomes, we've never seen anything like this, and the dominance that he can have can be greater than Joe Montana, 4 Super Bowls, 4 wins, greater than 9 Super Bowls, 6 wins for Tom Brady. Peyton Manning, the only quarterback to win for 2 teams ever, the Colts and the Broncos. We're talking about legacy. Drew Brees, 5,000-yard seasons, the best short quarterback to ever live on God's green earth. Drew Brees, the most underrated quarterback of all time. Drew Brees never gets the credit that he deserves because he's short. You know what I mean? But a lot of us can relate to him. If you're 6 foot and he's around 6 foot, it makes it even more amazing that he's fucking 6 foot. A lot of these other guys, 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". We, of course, expect them to be great. You can see over the offensive line. Brees can't. So if you think about that and all those yards that he's getting, think about his vision and his leadership, bar none. Is there a better leader in the NFL as far as pregame speeches and someone that you run into a wall with? No, and there hasn't been. And the only other one that you can compare him to ever, all time, Ray Lewis on the defense. Because when they spoke, you listened, and when you were a fan and you got a glimpse of that footage in the locker room or whoever was in there, Jim Nantz or a sideline reporter, it gave you chills because you're like, all right, I'm not even a Saints fan and I'm ready to fucking, throw down. Or I'm not even a Ravens fan, but this Ray Lewis guy, regardless of what the off-the-field shit that people like to bring up, I have this special thing about passion and the energy and the dedication, the determination. And you don't see anyone on any level besides Drew Brees and Ray Lewis all time. Tell me 2 other guys, better talkers in pregame speeches to get you ready to go. And that's the only shit that they showed that the cameras, they would allow you to see. Imagine some of the pep talks at halftime that you didn't get to see. That's something that I would love to be able to, NFL Films, I know Sable and the whole family, that would be primetime TV. Let me react to that. Let me see some of that, explicitive language in the locker room and just the passion and just the crazy talks that they have, when they're down by 20 and then they, give a speech and they come back and win. I love that shit, you know what I mean? That's what makes me love the NFL as much. But getting back to my point, Mahomes, long-term success, could go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. I never would ever say that about someone that hasn't even played 5 years in the NFL, but this kid is so special. They got such a great dynamic of receivers, Tyreek the Freak Hill, Travis Kelce. You got the best tight end in football, not named George Kittle, or Zach Ertz. So bad it hurt Zach Ertz. You got great coach in Andy Reid. Thank God he won. He deserved it. One of the most underrated head coaches of all time, so it's good for him to get his foot stamped for the Hall of Fame. But on top of it, he can throw up another 2, 3, 4 championships before he retires if he sticks with it. I think this team is that good. It may be a different path that they get there. They may not get there in consecutive Super Bowls, or they might go, 2 years and then maybe drop a little bit, and then maybe a couple years later make it again. But I could definitely see them, in that 4, 5, 6 championship range. And who knows if Mahomes plays for fucking 20 years? Is it that crazy to think that they can't get 6 or 7 Super Bowls in 20 years if they keep the defense and the D coordinator, the O-line, you keep beefing up pieces and you don't let weapons like Kelce go away or Tyreek the Freak Hill, and you keep just drafting amazingly and bringing in free agents like Honey Badger and Frank Clark? If I were a lot of y'all, I would be scared of the Chiefs because, it's the real deal, and there's not a lot of teams that are going to compete with them. The Ravens, depending on if they're healthy and, Lamar Jackson, they're going to be able to get their number at some point where we're going to see Ravens, Chiefs, and the Ravens will win. I don't know when it's going to be, but Ravens will have their shot in the Super Bowl with Lamar Jackson at some point in the next 6 years, 7 years. I don't know how many times the Ravens can go, but don't be surprised if those two teams battle it out, almost year in or every other year for that, last spot to try to get into the bowl. There'll be other teams that climb, but just the way that those teams are built, I can see definite long-term success. More from the Chiefs, but I can see it from the Ravens as well as long as Harbaugh stays there at head coach, and that's big facts. NFC is a lot more wide open from year to year. I'm happy we didn't get Brandin Cooks because he is made of glass. Ouch. Someone else said peanuts, and I retweeted that and did the peanuts on the tweet. It says, remember the hit in the Super Bowl? I do, Bird Gang. I wouldn't want Brandin Cooks, but if you ended up watching him at Oregon State, a guy that didn't go to a big primetime school, he does have great hands. He's a good route runner, but his knock is he gets injured. And usually when he gets fucked up, he's out for the game or the season. That's the unfortunate part. You know what I mean? But he's an above average wide receiver. I wouldn't say he's a star wide receiver, but he's a nice complimentary 2 or 3 on a squad if you got someone better at your top spot. But I wouldn't want him. Mahomes is up there with the best when you factor in he's a QB. Mahomes is the best QB. Mahomes has been the best QB for the last 2 years. And you could, if you watch him at Texas Tech, with I know a lot of y'all didn't, but I did. Marcus did. Some of y'all did. And so I actually saw, when you get these guys that have the baseball background and that, or either pitchers, or they have the strong arm, or their dad was in the MLB or played college, baseball, or played in the MLB, major leagues. A lot of those genes get passed down. I mean, you really get some special people. Ken Griffey Sr., Ken Griffey Jr., the genes. He got them, the Levi's, not the Jinkos. You feel me? Cards shouldn't draft a wide receiver. They already have one of the best. Well, of course, you got D-Hop. You got Christian Kirk. You got Larry Fitz. Kidding me? You got rid of David Johnson, and you got a better running back anyways from Miami. Last season, you all remember. Kenyon Drake. Fish God. I like him. That's a good fit for them there. Let's see here. Josiah. He says, yo, what to do, my guy? Card should draft O-line for the QB. Yeah, of course they should. I mean, their O-line is trash. I mean, there's plenty of guards and tackles they can take in this draft. Same thing with the Bucs. We need to protect our asset. Make sure you're protecting Tom Brady. Protect Kyler Murray. Absolutely. Who is the best team in the NFC? It's tough to say. Niners, Saints, Packers, Seahawks, Eagles, Cowboys. Who's it going to be? Saints, Bucks, Eagles, Cowboys, Niners, Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks. I mean, it's tough to really think of who is going to be the best team. It's tough to say. It usually shifts around a lot more from year to year. Do I like Fortnite? I don't play it. My friends play it. I'm too busy watching tape and, watching game footage and researching and working full-time job. So, I like what I see. I see my friends play it, and it looks like a lot of fun. It's just not something that I play personally. Larry's getting old. I think that this will be his last season, but I do agree the Cardinals O-line, they definitely need it, Bird Gang. Yeah, and there's a lot of night Werfs, Andrew Thomas, which I'm kind of looking at for Tampa Bay from Georgia. But there's a lot of great talent in this offensive line year in this 2020 draft. They talk about the wide receivers a lot, but they don't talk really about the O-linemen. There's going to be probably 5 great guards or tackles that are drafted within the first 15 picks. And we're talking like generational. There'll be 1 or 2 that should be fantastic. Tess in the building, the best moderator on YouTube. What to do? Jordan Love to the Saints. We talked about that. That would be a good fit. KJ Hamler. There you go. That's a good one. Hanging in there like everyone else. Thanks for asking. Still scrolling down here. Marcos Pineda in the building. All right, I'm just scrolling here. DeAndre Hopkins. So, yeah, we already know he's a top 2 wide receiver in the league. A-Guy says top 3. But, who's better than DeAndre Hopkins? Michael Thomas, and that's it. Who else is better? If he's top 3, Julio's not better than him. Julio's not better than DeAndre Hopkins. Sorry. Not a chance in hell. I got Mike Evans, and I like Mike Evans personally better than Julio because he's more of a touchdown machine, reliable, never had a good quarterback. I mean, he had Johnny Football in college, and they definitely rolled shit together. They beat Alabama, right? But having Jameis Winston and still being able to put up some great stats to be considered by most NFL fans a top 8 wide receiver, I think that's fair. You know what I mean? But some people would have him, in that 5, 6 range, 7 range, depending on if you see Mike Evans and what you see from him, if you like him better than Odell or Keenan Allen or Julio or those guys, in that next tier. Green Bay Packers, they got one too. They got themselves a stud with Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. So, there's a lot of wide receivers that are just super nice, but he's up there. Never really had a good QB besides Deshaun Watson. That's what makes D-Hop so amazing, too. These Clemson wide receivers are off the chain. Let's see here. Bengals and the Browns. Yeah, I'd love for them to be able to be relevant again. Gang, gang, gang. Marcus in the building. What are your perfect fits for the QBs in this year's draft? Burrow to the Bengals. So that way that Tua does not go to the Redskins. The Redskins get Chase Young, which they should because he could be a Hall of Famer. And you stick with the best player and a guy that you can build around with the defense that they already have in place for the Skins. I know Marcus will love that. Tua to the Dolphins, and I think Justin Herbert to the Chargers or Patriots, one of the two, would be fantastic. And then it just depends on Jordan Love. Colts, Saints. It just depends on if you have a guy that's aging that you know that you want to throw in there, or if it's a surprise team that picks him up that we're not even thinking of. You know, who could that be? What surprise team could throw themselves up there and grab him? So it'll be tough to see. Tough to guess. Marcos in the building. Still think Love is going to be the best quarterback in this draft class. Woo! Pierpont. That's a bold statement, my guy. If you be throwing that kind of information on Instagram, woo, I don't know. They'll be arguing with you. You could be like Skip and Shannon. You'd be like Skip. They'll be arguing you all day with that. He's got upside, the most upside out of the four, but what's his floor? I mean, he's nowhere near Herbert, Tua, or Burrow's skill set. Not even close. And then let alone Trevor Lawrence, who's leaps and bounds above him. So I still think Love will be the fourth out of the four this season. You know what I mean? But, I mean, Herbert, if he goes to the Patriots, I mean, we're talking about a Phillip Rivers type career if he goes there. They'll have a better career for Herbert on New England than he would on the Chargers. If Tua goes to the Dolphins, I could see them making the playoffs within the first 3 years, depending on if they get DeAndre Swift at running back and a great offensive tackle in the first round to have with Tua. If they can have a couple drafts, 2 or 3 in a row, Dolphins could be in the running for a wild card as they compete with the Bills and the Patriots towards the top of the division. So that's just my personal feeling. But I don't think Love by far is going to be the best quarterback. If that ends up happening, that's going to be horrible for the NFL, because what does that say about Burrow? He hit his ceiling in college, and he's not that good. And then Herbert throws too many picks, or he overthrows and underthrows, and Tua gets hurt. Come on, man. We don't want that storyline. I want to hear Tua is the second best, left-handed quarterback since Steve Young and then Michael Vick, like right up there. That's what I want to hear. I want to see Herbert develop into a stud where he can make all the throws even under great competition and great pressure. I want to see Burrow do shit like he did at LSU. And if Love can overachieve and do something and give us maybe a poor man's Patrick Mahomes type of kind of game, I mean, that would bring some excitement to the NFL. Bird Gang says, I think Cooks is overrated. But also, too, Marcos got to see him live. So he's seeing Brandin Cooks up front and personal and seeing him. Love the best QB. Why, though? Marcus says. That's what I said. Who should the Eagles get at 21? You're not going to get Ruggs. You're not. Laviska Shenault had the surgery. I think Jefferson. You'll see some mock drafts that say that, but if you look at his size and his speed, I do like the fit with Carson Wentz. Mr. Walk it to him. I think Jefferson would be nice, but I think offensive line, a lot of the top tier guys at guard and tackle will be gone, but there'll still be a few guys floating around. I would like to see the Eagles beef up some of the other positions on their team besides wide receiver. But as we know, the lack of depth at wide receiver is definitely there, and they could draft, the first, second, third round, within those picks, those comp picks that they got also. I could see them drafting wide receiver in the first couple rounds back to back to give Wentz some stability, because Alshon, they're trying to shop him, but no one really wants him because he gets hurt a lot too. He still has some game, but his value isn't as what it was a couple years ago. And then you have J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. The best thing about him right now, besides Carson Wentz, is they got Zach Ertz, so bad it hurt Zach Ertz, and Dallas Goedert. That's the best part of their double tight end sets. Aaron Hernandez, and Rob Gronkowski. That same type of mindset with the double tight ends, not the gangbanging. You feel me? I said, just got that gut feeling. I don't know, man. You have to watch some tape and show me. Don Shingo from Germany in the building. What it do? Learn how to throw picks watching Rivers on the bench. He said, Lenny D's, I want a wide receiver who can get over the top so the safety can go to him and leave Ertz wide open, or Dallas Goedert. Bird Gang. So, yeah, Jefferson has got the size. He's got the hands. That would be the perfect fit for the Eagles. I mean, Ruggs gives you that deep threat, that D-Jax kind of player, but it would be nice to have a guy like an Alshon in the red zone where you can run a fade route, right side or left side, and Jefferson gives you that. I'm going to go up and get it at the high point, and I can get you some touchdowns, and he'll be a better player than J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. That's facts. So it'll be interesting to see if he's there, which I think he will be. But Jefferson to the Saints or the Eagles would definitely make sense. I think if he goes to the Saints, he will be a superstar, but he gets to learn from Breeze, pick up knowledge. He's already has all the physical tools. I imagine that you're talking about Jordan Love there. For the price of half of a 12-pack of toilet paper, you can help this channel build a YouTube studio extraordinaire. Tess, the best moderator in the business. Marcos Pineda says, what up, Marcus? He was in the building yesterday. Let's see, that's why, for one, I want Ruggs, but then if not, Mims, the best way to go. Mims isn't too bad either, but Jefferson would give you more long-term stability, and I like him a little bit more than Mims, but Mims has got some game. Josiah says, yo. He says, Watkins, a late-round sleeper in the draft. Lenny D, okay, I see you. So you and Marcus should go at it on Madden, Redskins, Bucks. I would love to see that. I know, that would be tight. We definitely would have to do that sometime. Maybe just turn the iMac around. But he has a Xbox, and I got PlayStation, so we're on two totally different levels, you feel me? It's like Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo. You know what I mean? We're on two different systems. Shingo says Carson Wentz. Love Carson Wentz. Better than Jared Goff, you feel me? And he always has been. That would be the biggest mistake the Rams have ever made by not going Carson Wentz instead of Jared Goff. Facts. Even with the injuries, I still love Carson Wentz as a top 10 quarterback in this league when healthy. No question. And you could even have him go as high as maybe 7 or 8, depending on if he's really rolling, which he gets into rhythms pretty easily. Should the Eagles draft Willie Gay Jr., linebacker, in the second round? I've heard that name floating around. There's others that are better. So it just depends on what pieces that you want to build up. You got big play Slay. You made some nice additions to the D-line, from the Steelers. So we'll have to see. Ryan Nostradamus, your boy. Drew never gets the credit. Damn right he doesn't. No one better. Brian Dawkins, a legend, another one. Those are my top 3 picks in the draft: Jefferson, Ruggs, and Mims for first round at least, right? And the thing is Mims could be like a second round pick. Ruggs and Jefferson are definite first round picks. There is a chance that Jefferson slides to the top of the second round, which if that happens, someone's going to get a fucking steal, I'll tell you that. But Jefferson definitely could fit in with the Saints and what they're trying to do to get separation for Michael Thomas, because you can't guard Mike, and he's the best wide receiver in the fucking game, right? But to have another guy on the other side, someone that is a little younger than Ted Ginn or, Jared Cook cooking up the competition, you know what I'm saying? So that'll be nice to see the Saints have another weapon, because I want them at full strength with my Bucks and Tom Brady come to town, you feel me? Prayer Man, long time no see. Hello, brother. Fly Eagles Fly 2020. I'm so excited for your Eagles team this season, and I know that's weird for someone that's a Buccaneers fan to have so much love and appreciation for all the teams in the NFL, but that's why you guys come here, because I do the research and the tape watching, just like Marcus. And to be honest, out of all the divisions in the NFL, every single one, right, even though NFC South is my number one, Bucks, Saints, Panthers, and I guess I'll mention the Falcons, I guess, right? My favorite to watch every single year since being a little kid has been the NFC East. Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Redskins. Those Redskins matchups, those Redskins-Cowboy matchups, the Eagles-Cowboys, Eagles-Redskins. I mean, the Giants are on the bottom end, but they got Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, so at least it gives you something there, even though Odell's not there. But I always like watching Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, Brian Dawkins, Dexter Manley, Art Monk, Mark Rippon, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmett, Leon Lett, Dion, prime time. I can go on and on, you know what I'm saying? But I always have great memories. Jaws, just going Randall Cunningham. I mean, do I need to keep name dropping? I mean, Jerome Brown. Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm no average guy, okay? Keith Jackson, and I'm not talking about the old white guy on ABC that did college football, the best analyst for college football, Keith Jackson, right? I'm talking about Keith Jackson, the tight end for the Eagles. You remember him? I'm going way back on you. Eagles fans are like, damn, he knows. Jerome Brown, respect. You feel me? I just gained so much love from Eagles fans right there. They're like, damn, he threw out the Jerome Brown. He said the Keith Jackson. I love this guy. And we love you back. Marcos Pineda says, what do you think about the Ravens' future? I love it. I see a Super Bowl in their future. Maybe not as much success as the Chiefs, but I definitely think in the next 6 to 7 years, if they have those battles with the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, at some point, the Ravens, if they keep building the defense, the O-line, and they keep building the weapons, the wide receivers, tight ends, and quarterback are off the chain, but they keep building those pieces. Adding Calais Campbell was nice, right? But they definitely can get past the Chiefs at some point. It may take a couple years, but I see them playing that team, and that's going to be the Super Bowl. Chiefs, Ravens, AFC Championship game when it happens, that'll be more spectacular on whoever the Ravens play when they get past the Chiefs, because there's going to be so much heartache and buildup where they've lost to them probably a couple times, and then maybe the third time's a charm, or second time or third time, and then they get it. And then you'll see the emotion from Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh, and then that'll carry over that momentum for them to win the Super Bowl against whoever it is in the NFC. That's just me with my ESP, just giving you some of that knowledge and that insight. Just like when I told Marcos Pineda, when I watched Russell Wilson at Wisconsin versus Oregon in the Rose Bowl, I said, Russell Wilson's going to take your Seahawks to 2 Super Bowls. You're going to win one, you're going to lose one. And Marcos Pineda was like, wow, really? And then literally a few years later, that shit happened, like to the T. And I know it's one of those things. He likes to call me Orion Canzano because there's this Canzano guy that does sports reporting out here in Oregon, but he's not. He's right sometimes, and he's a figure in the public more, say, right? But I definitely called that one, and I think ever since then, Marcos has always been a believer, and we're good friends. We've been friends for like 20 years. But when you throw out information specific like that, based on who they already had, Marshawn, Legion of Boom, and just seeing Russell Wilson play at NC State and transition to Wisconsin and play my Ducks, I could tell this guy is Hall of Fame. He's special. And then for him to go in the 3rd round, unbelievable. You know what I mean? These guys that are so talented that people get slept. Alvin Kamara, sliding to the 3rd or 4th round. Russell Wilson sliding to like the 3rd round. And now you're like, wow, as you like evaluate their career and be like, damn, these guys are just crazy good. Pre-game speeches from Dawkins are the greatest ever. I've heard a lot of his. And even when he talks on Twitter or NFL Network, always exciting, always passionate, really intelligent. I do really like all the conversations that I've heard from him as well. Do you think the Rams can come back from the dead? Yeah, but it's going to be tough, because the Cardinals are going to be the sleeper team this year that does better than people think, like the Bucs. There may be one other one that we're not thinking of. Maybe not the Jets or the Dolphins just yet, but maybe it's like the Lions. Maybe the Lions surprise people and get to the top or towards the top with Green Bay. It's definitely possible. They're good about every 3 to 4 years. They definitely start to make it happen. Let's see here. Young Nola in the building, my boy. What'd it do? But I think the Rams, you got the Niners. They're the best team in the NFC at this point, kind of like the Chiefs. They haven't really lost too many pieces. And if they get CeeDee Lamb in the draft, watch out. This team could definitely get back to an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl appearance within the next 3 years. And that's a big fact. So we'll see where that goes. And then you got Seattle. You got Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. I love everything that they have on their football squad, and you got Bobby Wagner, the best linebacker in the game, arguably. He's up there. It used to be him and Luke Kuechly as far as like middle linebackers. Now Luke Kuechly's gone, so Bobby Wagner is probably one of the most underrated linebackers, like Levante David and AKA the Glue, Demario Davis, which I got a tweet from, a little conversation. That was cool, man. Demario Davis, shout out to you. Island Saints. Cooks give up the Super Bowl for the Rams drops. Yeah, well, he got fucked up, man. He's been getting fucked up since Oregon State. We're familiar with him out here in Oregon because we watched him here in Corvallis. I watched him all his games on TV, and I followed his career very closely. Definitely concussion prone, injury prone. But when he's healthy and he's out there, he's decent. I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders took Justin Jefferson at 19 because runs a West Coast offense like Gruden. A guy, I disagree. Because the thing is they're going to end up getting Jerry Jeudy more than likely. So if you get Jeudy, why would you go Jeudy and Jefferson? They're not going to take 2 wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go for Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb. They're going to grab one of those 2 players. Niners, Raiders, Niners, right there. I would be shocked if both of those teams don't get one or the other player. So that's just my feel on it. See, Lenny D says, I understand why you would think that. We got a new wide receiver coach. The last coach put him in the slot, which was dumb. And he's an Alshon type of receiver, 50-50 ball receiver. Okay. He said, follow me on SoundCloud. Here, I'll show that. Let's see if I can get that to come out there. Maybe test them. The moderator can do that. I don't mind if you plug yourself, Nola, on the channel. I'll support you to the end. I'm one of the real supporters for you, big dog, day in and day out. Let's see here. Say, don't put the Eagles in there. Come on, man. You got to. I mean, the Cowboys, we don't really know what they're going to be like, but I feel the Eagles, if they're healthy, I feel I can ride them, and they're more consistent year in and year out to me than the Cowboys, the Redskins, or the Giants, but that could change with Riverboat Ron there, with Marcus's squad. See what the Giants and Daniel Jones can do with Saquon and some more offensive line help in the draft to build that squad. But I like the Eagles squad coaching-wise with Dougie P. That, now they have McCarthy for the Cowboys. We'll see what kind of experiment that is. Jerry Jones has too much control. So the Eagles, to me, just have the better depth, the better coaching, the better franchise. And they may not get to another Super Bowl in the next year or two like they did with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz. But I still think that they're going to be contenders, and you can't take them for granted. And, year in and year out, I like watching them. I like seeing the talent and comparing them to the other, people in the squad. And, obviously Marcus's Redskins, HTTR all day. Who is the best wide receiver in the draft? The best wide receiver in the draft is Jerry Jeudy. The one that has the most kind of splash factor, like ESPN top 10, CeeDee Lamb, especially if he goes to the Niners with Kyle Shanahan. He'll be able to run like Deebo Samuel, hand the ball off to him and, screen pass, reverses. You can run all kinds of different routes with CeeDee Lamb, but I think by far those two are the best wide receivers. I know Ruggs will get some looks because he's got the speed, but by far, to me, Jerry Jeudy, Raiders, Niners, he can run the best routes. He's got great hands. He's just the man out there, I know there's some comparisons to, maybe like Antonio Brown, ish, or you can go Antonio Brown-ish for CeeDee Lamb and maybe Dez Bryant, for Jerry Jeudy. There'll be some different comparisons there, because CeeDee Lamb is a little bit more wiry, a little bit more slithery. Jeudy is a little bit more Marvin Harrison-ish. He's more precise, kind of not robotic, but he's a little more stiffer in his routes. CeeDee Lamb has got more wiggle, to his body, and he can kind of get out of there. But I think both wide receivers have a shot to be, a Pro Bowl wide receiver year one, and they could be the next generation, like superstar wide receivers coming into this league where, you have so many other options for top 6 wide receivers, top 8 in the league. I could see CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy cracking the top 10, within the first couple years. I think that they have that much potential, especially going to those kind of squads, depending on who the quarterback is. If Mariota and Carr, if he's still there, can get the ball to Jerry Jeudy, that's obviously going to be important if you want him to be the Tim Brown, the Jerry Rice of the Raiders, right? And CeeDee Lamb, he doesn't have to do anything. You got Kyle Shanahan. You saw what they did with Deebo, Samuel. He's going to be a superstar. And I think CeeDee Lamb, to me, has more potential to be a bigger player just because of the better environment and coaching with the Niners. Unless Jerry Jeudy goes to the Niners instead of the Raiders, then his future will be brighter. But it's pretty much whoever goes to the Niners has a chance to be in that Jerry Rice, T.O., and then that next wide receiver, not John Taylor, J.J. Stokes. I'm busting out the old school names, but better, up in that upper echelon. Maybe not as good as Jerry Rice or T.O., but you never know. This could be the next Antonio Brown, Dez Bryant, and CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy. And there will be a sleeper out of that people don't talk about as much as well. But I am catching up. I'm just going through everyone's comments here. It says, how's the job going? It's tough doing the warehouse thing, working from 7 to 3, 4, 4:30. It's tough. The knees hurt, the legs hurt, the toes and the heels hurt. I still wear the Vapor Maxes there, so I got expensive, nice shoes that I'm wearing. But if you're walking 3, 4, 5 miles a day, over time it's rough. You know what I mean? But I definitely try to grind and record and let Marcus know, and just to try to add some editing to the channel and just do everything that I can, because even though we're in the Rona period, I love football. It's on right now. Eagles versus the Giants. And football is my life. NFL, college football. There's not one thing in this lifetime that I would more love, want to talk about than the NFL or college football. So, and it shows with the dedication and the energy and all the research that me and Marcus do. You know what I'm saying? Let's see here. So we're going to do it again this year. Young Nola's confident in the Saints. You got Emmanuel Sanders. It's looking good. I agree. I think the Saints have a great shot to be the best team in the NFC, but there'll be a few other teams like the Packers, the Eagles, right, the Seahawks, the Niners that will say otherwise, but they should be right there. And maybe, if I'm lucky, my Tampa Bay Bucs, right? Rob Van Dam. Maybe my Tampa Bay Bucs and Tom Brady, maybe they can have a little magic in these next couple years. That's all I'm hoping for. You can't stop Thomas, Kamara, Sanders. We'll see. We'll see, big dog, especially if we get in there. Can you imagine if the Bucs sweep the Saints? Saints fans will never let that down. They would just lose their fucking minds. Wouldn't you, Saints fans? If Tom Brady just came in there and just put the whooping down, and then we ended up just winning both games by 10 points or more, you guys would just lose your shit. You still make the playoffs. Even if I beat you guys and went like 5-1 in the division, I don't think anyone's going to go 6-0 in the NFC South. I don't think you're going to sweep the Panthers, the Bucs, or the Saints. Falcons you could probably beat up twice, if you're any of the other three teams, but I don't think a clean sweep. But I'm just looking to compete. You feel me? Competing. I got Tom Brady, old-ass mofo, right? But I think that he's going to play a lot better than people think. He's not going to, have a horrible season of 15 touchdowns and 30 picks. I'm going to say it again. He's going to have a good year. At the very worst, 20 touchdowns, and 8 to 12 interceptions. I'm not going to see him, do any worse than that. And on the upside, maybe 30 touchdowns for the top end, 30, 32, right? And then as low as maybe 7 picks, 8 picks. That could be possible. I don't think it's going to be 5 or less, because he is definitely a little older, and there'll be guys that get pressure at him and stuff, but he knows when to, throw the ball away for an old guy. And nobody trains harder than TB12. He wouldn't be able to play this long, at a high level at that type of age. I mean, think about all those amazing quarterbacks out there. Not many quarterbacks are going to play as great as they have as Drew Brees and Tom Brady at this age. If you're going 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, think about how old that is compared to when you get in somewhere between 20 and 22 years old out of college. That's a long fucking time in the NFL to sustain that long-term success. That's why Brady and Brees are on Mount Rushmore, 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks of all fucking time. They've been able to do it long time with consistency, like Nolan Ryan. You feel me? The Nolan Ryans of the NFL, Drew Brees and Tom Brady. Big facts. So your Rams are slipping up. I think Jake Fromm should go top 5. What a troll. I like that, Josiah. Top 5. All right, never say never on Ruggs. I call Harry Houdini. Or Howie Houdini, not Harry Houdini. Well, you know what? You're going to have to trade up, and I don't know if you want to do that unless you want to throw one of those third-round comp picks that you got to trade up. But I see Denver, Raiders. There'll be some teams that will be looking at him depending on how they want to use him. Maybe the Niners surprise everyone and go Ruggs instead of Judy or CeeDee Lamb. Could you imagine if they want the Tyreek the Freak Hill on the Niners? What that could do there? It'd be interesting. Emmanuel Sanders in the building. Can't guard Mike. You can't guard him. You can only hope to contain him. Says, not to mention, Mims probably has a high ceiling overall, though those other 3 are going to be day 1 stars. He'll pack over time. That's the upside. Yeah, Ayuk from Arizona State had a little bit of the surgery, but he has potential. Jefferson's got some potential. There's a lot of guys other than Ruggs and Judy and CeeDee Lamb that really can make a name. Laviska Shenault is another one, from Colorado. Had a little bit of, not necessarily big-time surgery, but a little bit of, healing the body, and making sure that these guys are right. But a lot of these guys can really make a name for themselves, but there's going to be a difference between Antonio Brown, Des Bryant quality, and then Tyreek the Freak Hill quality, and then the rest below them. The rest below, and you're going to be getting like a Robert Woods, a supplemental wide receiver, a Chris Godwin, hopefully for some of them, they can develop into a Chris Godwin-ish wide receiver footballs. Now we just need to get someone that's more reliable than Jameis Winston. Can't wait for the season. I know. I'm almost caught up. You got cheated out of a Super Bowl. Well, that's facts, man. That's facts. But the thing is, if you ended up beating the Rams, which you should have, besides all the bullshit that happened, right? There's no guarantee that you would have beat the Patriots. You know what I mean? Like, there would have been a really damn good shot with Breeze and the team that they had. But as we know, with Tom Brady and the Patriots and Josh McDaniels and Belichick, you're not just going against Brady, a.k.a. the GOAT to some people, or top 3 quarterback of all time. That's where I have him, even though he's on my team right now in the Tampa Bay Bucs. I go Joe Montana 1, Peyton Manning 2, Tom Brady 3. So I ain't stupid. You know what I mean? This is just based on, the cheating and the type of player. And obviously I'm not bandwagon, or I won't have a Tom Brady at number 1 like a lot of people do. I mean, based off his career and the Super Bowls, of course, you're going to have him at number 1 in 99 out of 100, polls. But the reason I like Montana and Manning more, Montana and Manning didn't cheat. 4 Super Bowls, 4 wins, West Coast offense, Bill Walsh, that's my number 1. You know what I mean? He just was so special. And then to go to Peyton Manning, only guy to win it for 2 different teams, the Colts and the Broncos. Probably will never be done ever again. Showing the smartest football mind at a quarterback of all time. No one smarter than Peyton Manning, period. Prove me wrong, right? Then Tom Brady with his accolades, but with the Belichick and him and Spygate, Deflategate, all the cheating, right? Drew Brees 4, John Elway 5. But as Mahomes starts coming in, he's going to start climbing the ranks if they start scooping up Super Bowl 2, Super Bowl 3, Super Bowl 4. And then pretty soon he's going to be right there with Brady, Breeze, Montana, Manning. He's going to be right there. And that's big facts. What do I think about the Saints' future? See, I'm almost caught up here. I love it because I think Taysom Hill is better than Teddy B. He can be a starting quarterback in this league. You can always have someone like Jordan Love, or Jacob Eason or another piece added, to develop underneath. But I really, honestly, truly believe Taysom Hill could be the future of the New Orleans Saints and be successful and be right there with Tampa Bay and the Panthers for his NFC South supremacy. Even if Breeze leaves, they still got Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Michael Thomas. I mean, another wide receiver, probably Jefferson in the draft, AK-41. Latavius Murray, even though Mark Ingram was better. Mark Ingram, bright future. I mean, at the very least, I can't see the Saints dropping more the number 2 in the division unless somehow, some way the Panthers, start winning more games after Breeze leaves. But, Sean Payton's amazing. He knows how to coach. He knows how to draft. That's facts. So the Chiefs not going to be in the Super Bowl. Did you watch the Super Bowl, Noah? Come on, man. He said, don't sleep on the Titans. But the Titans aren't going to be able to have that long-term success. I love Ryan Tannehill, and that was a top 2 choice for me to come to the Bucs. Tannehill 1, Brady 2, right? But Tannehill ain't no Patrick Mahomes, the clone. Mahomes has a chance to be one of the best of all time, or the best of all time. He's got that kind of potential and skill set that he could be better than Montana or Brady or Manning or Breeze or Rodgers or Elway or Marino. Think about that. He honestly could. They were a coin flip away from the Super Bowl the following year with one of the worst defenses in the league. He is the real fucking deal. I've never seen anyone like him. I mean, we're talking like the Michael Jordan, even better than the LeBron for NBA. We're talking like Jordan status of the NBA, Patrick Mahomes. Like that type of fucking dominance. That's where I put him. And it's still early in his career. And I'm not a hater. I'm realistic. I watch the tape. I see how he plays against all the teams. You know what I mean? There is no one even close to Patrick Mahomes at the QB position right now. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are great. Carson Wentz, when healthy, is great. There's a lot of Drew Brees, and there's a lot of guys that are great, but they're no Patrick Mahomes. There's a difference there in the tiers. You feel me? All right, I'm almost caught up here. Heel Puck, all right, I'm caught up. Someone I'd like to see. The Eagles' backfield is Devontae Freeman. Injury issues, yes. However, you are taking him in from 20 touches a game to maybe 5 or 10 in a good backfield. Could stay healthy easily. Yeah, I mean, if you remember, me and Marcus watched him very closely when they were in their Super Bowl, era and their runs. He was at one point a top 5, top 6 running back in the entire league. Do you remember that a few years ago? That if you said Devontae Freeman 3, 4, 5 years ago was a top 5 running back, no one would have laughed at you. You're like, damn, he was good. Matt Ryan, Julio, they had some nice pieces there, right? But the injuries are starting to kind of creep up, and he may never be the same player as he was. $5 per man, 2009. Hello, brother. Fly, Eagles, fly. Sorry it took so long to acknowledge that. And Marcos Pineda, $5. Go Seahawks. Wish we signed Brandin Cooks, he said. But like I said, I was just trying to acknowledge everyone and go through the chat with everyone. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I am so excited for this NFL season. And it's not just because I got Tom Brady. Obviously, me being a Bucs fan, it's tough. You know what I mean? But to see a little light at the end of the tunnel, even though he's old as hell, right, is really exciting. And a lot of fans of NFL teams that are in the chat or have dropped in, they don't understand because your teams are so much better. Or if you ended up getting your, Sean McVay or your Jared Goff and you ended up having, your previous coach, Mr. Mustache, in the past, you wanted to move on from him so badly. And then you finally got Sean McVay. So it's kind of nice to go from the Jeff Fisher era and then you get Aaron Donald. And, you're going from these certain players that you never wished that or dreamed that you thought you could even get on your roster. And then you get them and then they develop into something just like way more than you ever expected. But injuries are tough. And NFC West and NFC South are tough. I mean, tough divisions, just like the NFC East. You can go that for AFC North. I mean, there's so many really, really tough divisions. So, but that's what makes NFL exciting and the best sport in not only North America, but to me in the world. I know globally soccer, el football, is amazing, right? But Marcus likes it more than me. But for me, hands down, NFL, college football, better than the NBA, better than college basketball, better than MLB, better than wrestling, even though I love all those things almost as much. I mean, it's probably NFL, college football, wrestling for me in that order. But it's just crazy, man. Demario Davis, man. I hope he goes maybe for a tweet for a tweet, or maybe a share for a share, or a follow for a follow. That'd make my day. Love me some Demario Davis. Let's see here. Let's take a quick look. It says, have respect to the pastor, Ryan. He needs to be put to the test. I know, right? Let's see here. What do you think the Colts will do in the draft? Wide receiver would be the number one thing. Phillip Rivers is old as fuck. You got Quentin Nelson. You got DeForest Buckner from the Niners. You gave up that pick, so you feel that that's going to be a piece that you're not afraid to pay money for. And I like what the Colts have done, even though some people are criticizing the amount of money that Phillip Rivers and DeForest Buckner got. I'm not. I love it. And then you got, Darius Leonard in the middle, a surprise player that no one thought would be as great as he is. Pro Bowler, could be a Hall of Famer. Malik Hooker on the back end from The Ohio State University, underrated safety. They need someone other than T.Y. to really, help them out. So I really feel if they go for a nice top-tier wide receiver in the first couple rounds, that's going to really help the development of them. But they need offensive line. They need a tight end. Obviously, Ebron's gone to the Steelers, so they need that position. That could help out Phillip Rivers, a check down guy, an Antonio Gates kind of guy. So maybe you end up looking at someone like that in the second round. But they definitely need weapons on the outside, someone other than T.Y. Hilton, who's starting to get banged up a little bit more regularly than I'd like to see. But they'll definitely be contenders in the AFC South. And if they can stay healthy, they might be a playoff team in 2020. Do you think Marcus Davenport can break out this year? Of course. He's an amazing player. He just got nicked up with injuries. And he's still got shimmy in the middle, a little shimmy and a little shake. So you got plenty of pieces up front and on the edges. Cameron Jordan and Davenport, when healthy, they got a nice 1-2 punch. And they got nice pieces up front in the middle too. Unfortunately with some of the injuries that they had. But I like their team. And you got Demario Davis. You lost Von Bell to the Bengals. But I do like Marcus Davenport. His issue is just like Marcus Mariota and Tua. Stay healthy, my guy. You stay healthy, Marcus Davenport, you're definitely going to have a breakout year. He's got the talent to get you 8 to 12 sacks, in the season off the edge, which is fantastic for that type of player. But can he stay healthy enough to get those opportunities to get 8 to 12 sacks, 10 sacks, 12 sacks? Sheldon Rankins shimmy. Hey, I was waiting for someone to say something. Hey. Love me some Sheldon Rankins. And that's another guy that they need healthy. More than really Marcus Davenport because he, clogs up that middle. So, Jamarcus Russell start for the Raiders. I know about heartache. Hey, that's true. But depending on how old you are, guy, I mean, the Raiders and John Madden, one of the most epic franchises of all time. Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson, even had the Rich Gannon, Jerry Rice, Tim Brown era against my Bucks. But prior to that, with the Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson era, the Tecmo Bowl era, and previous, going against like John Riggins and the Redskins and the Raiders, Willie Galt. They've had some Kenny Stabler. I mean, they've had some crazy players, over the years. Lau Alzado. So the Raiders, franchise is, it's not the same as it was, but I'm hoping with Gruden that he can bring some of that pirate magic, back to the Raiders and have them be at least competitive. Maybe not like how they were, when they were, going against Tom Brady and the tuck, rule game, and then the year after when Gruden went to my team, and then the Raiders had Callahan at head coach going against Gruden, and I had the edge. But, I mean, Mike Mayock is brilliant. He is the best mock drafter in the business. And when he ended up going to the Raiders, we don't see that side of him on NFL Network. Way better than Kuiper and McShay. Way better than anyone else that does mock drafts, even on NFL Network. Mike Mayock is the most accurate and consistent year in and year out. And ask anyone, me, Marcus, any expert that watches NFL and all the mocks and watches all the shows. When I watch the NFL draft, I typically watch it on ESPN and NFL Network. Yeah, I'm hardcore. And I'll do day 1, day 2, and day 3. Even rounds 4 through 7 on that third day. I'll watch that whole thing. All the, stats scrolling underneath, the footage. I live for that shit. I love it. Some people think it gets boring. And I mean, at rounds 4 through 7, you don't know all those players. So sometimes it's not as interesting as the first round or day 2, second, and third round. But you always can get these amazing players, in the 4th, the 5th, the 6th that you're not even thinking that are going to be that good. And they turn into like a first round talent. And you're like, holy shit, or a third rounder turning into a first round talent, or a fourth rounder or fifth rounder. I love that. What receiver do you think the Colts should target, and what's your opinion of Chase Claypool and Michael Pittman Jr.? I like them. They're good players. You're not going to be looking at getting them super high, but if they fall, late first round, second round, third round, as the draft progresses, Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be one of those guys that'll get picked up. It just depends on the coaching and the team. But to me, out of all the teams that are organized and have changed their ways from the past, the Colts to me are a top 3 well-run franchise today. Look at the picks that they've made in the draft and the talent that they have. Quentin Nelson is the best offensive lineman in football. He's got that Jonathan Ogden, Steve Hutchinson, all the greats from back in the day. If you think about, Dermontti Dawson, if you look at center, guards, tackles, all the different, pieces, from all the past. He's one of those guys to me, he's like a Hall of Famer already. He's that good. And if you look at all the amazing offensive linemen that we've had, Anthony Munoz, I mean, I can go on and on and on. But I really think Quentin Nelson that was a steal. I mean, he's not only the best offensive lineman in that draft, I mean, he's the best offensive lineman in probably the last 15 years. I don't think there's anyone better than him. Pancaking, not, giving up sacks, having good control. He's got the full package. He's nasty. I'd love to have a player like that on a Tampa Bay Bucs. But I think he's first ballot Hall of Fame type of player, Quentin Nelson. And then you get a Darius Leonard where people are thinking, oh, who's this guy? And then ends up getting, defensive rookie of the year and, showing you stuff that you never would have thought from that name, that player. So it shows you they really know how to draft and have made some changes at the top, in GM, head coach, offensive coordinator, D coordinator, bringing in Frank Reich. It shows you, from the Eagles tree, and you bring in certain guys over, how much of a difference that franchise has changed the Colts from where they were with Andrew Luck and now how they're running their organization. And even past the Phillip Rivers era, I still think that they're going to be one of those teams that will make an AFC championship game at some point within the next probably 5 to 8 years. Probably not with Phillip, but with the next quarterback, depending on who they get. But I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see Trevor Lawrence in some college football as well, because I'm watching a lot of college football also. So NFL updates with a Bucs fan and Brandin Cooks trade with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy like Marcos Pineda and Prayer Man 2009 at $5 each. Thank you very much. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. We got the name. We got Michael Allstott with the nice stiff arm, the A-Train, Mike Allstott, the best fullback ever on the screen as well. We're talking about Brandin Cooks going to the Texans. That is no D-Hop, but at least that gives Deshaun Watson a little hope that you got someone with him on one side, Will Fuller on the other, but they're no longer the top team, anymore in the AFC South. Houston Texans, it's almost a laughing stock. Titans should be nice. The Colts should be nice. And at some point, will the Jags ever recover? Possibly. They got a lot of draft capital, just like the Dolphins. It just depends on how they use it and if those guys pan out. And that's big facts. Kamara trade rumor has been heating up over the last 2 days. I wouldn't trade him. Why? Why trade AK-41, the alien? You know what I mean? You got Latavius Murray, but are you going to be able to get someone better than AK-41? You know, he's a staple. He is New Orleans. He is the Saints. He is Louisiana. You know what I mean? Why would you want to get rid of someone like that? I mean, regardless of the money, he may not be a Zeke Elliott or a Saquon Barkley, but remember, he didn't go first round. You know, he went third round with a chip on his shoulder. So for me, you know, he was 75%, 70% last year on one leg. I mean, you can't, have him do too much, but it also shows you AK-41 was the complementary back to Mark Ingram, who is a workhorse back. And when Kamara eating all those Skittles, eating all those sweets, because that's his favorite, Skittles, right? It was too many touches for him, and he got hurt. You know, some running backs can't handle that big load. And it shows you when they had Mark Ingram and what he did for the Ravens and how great of a player he was for Lamar Jackson, that is a star running back 1. AK-41 is a running back 2 that tried to play RB1, and there's no problem with that, right? But you can't let a player like that go. He's still better than Latavius Murray, even as considered as an RB2. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely, especially if you're trying to have some continuity if you're trying to go to a fucking Super Bowl or an NFC Championship game and battle it out with the Niners and the Seahawks and the Rams and the Cardinals and the Packers and the Vikings and the Eagles and the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. Yeah, I said it. The Buccaneers, right? You feel me? You know, you want to keep your weapons. Bird Gang, great live. It always is, bro. You know what I'm saying? J.J. Watt knows. Right? DeMario Davis knows. Hopefully I get some of these NFL players to hop on in the chat. How awesome would that be? All it would take is just one regular NFL player to hop in the chat and just hang out with us, and things would probably start getting bigger and bigger. You know, I know they watch. You know what I mean? But you can watch NFL Network. You can watch ESPN. You can watch Colin Cowherd. You know, you can watch all the shows. I love Good Morning Football. That's the only show that I watch consistently. That's some great NFL analysis. Kay Adams, amazing. Nate Burleson, amazing. Brant and Schrags are okay to me, right? You know what I mean? But as far as anything besides Good Morning Football, if you want to be entertained, it's here, baby. It's me. It's me and Marcus, the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Nobody is better on YouTube. Nobody has the dedication or energy or passion than the Northwest Sports Fanatics. And as far as the entertainment value and the knowledge, you are not going to get it anywhere else. No other sports YouTube channel that covers NFL or college football or sports is even in the same realm than the Northwest Sports Fanatics with me and Marcus. Yeah, there's other sports channels on YouTube, but they don't know as much as us, right? And they don't have the same kind of, they might have the same kind of dedication or passion to record and, and sell their brand. But as far as the research, the knowledge, the dedication, the film study, we take that to that next level. You know what I'm saying? We are the Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, and then there's everyone else on YouTube and podcasting, TV. You feel me? And that's why you guys get entertained here. We give you the best of the best. You can listen to it as a podcast or you can watch the live stream, but you're not going to get it better anywhere else. He said, cool, man. Just let us know when you have started and we'll be your first subscriber. Yeah, I went to Kay Adams. She did a little Insta Live, and I went on there, just kind of typing on there and stuff. It's crazy to have someone that's that beautiful and actually loves football. That's a dream. You know what I mean? Unbiased, unfiltered, undeniable. That's going to be a T-shirt, Tess. You know what I mean? We'll have to have a T-shirt. We'll have to make a logo of you. Right? So we'll have a logo, me and Marcus, and then Tess as the moderator, and then that'll be the catchphrase. Unbiased, unfiltered, undeniable, the best of the best of the best, sir, as Will Smith would say in Men in Black, with honors, the Northwest Sports Fanatics. And I love you guys, and the best part about it is with the passion and the dedication. For a long time on Facebook, it was just the wrong platform. There's a lot of people that just want pictures of their dogs and cats, and they want memes and GIFs and, just pictures of what you're doing, action shots and, Instagram pictures, right? But when we came to YouTube, we started to find out, we and Marcus, this platform is global, and we're going to reach people that are like us. Because on Facebook in your friend group, there might be one person that is as hardcore as me and Marcus in the friend group, or two, right? Out of a group of, maybe 8 to 10 or 15 friends, right? But I know there's a lot of y'all out there globally and in the United States, and it's just really great to be able to talk with you guys almost on a daily basis about NFL. I love it, man. You know what I mean? And you know that you're going to get unbiased information. You're going to get the research of not only my team, but every team in the NFL. And I don't think you can say that for any other YouTube channel. There's other YouTube channels where people root for the Cowboys and the Bears. You know who I'm talking about, right? So they know everything about their teams. But what about all the teams? I mean, think about how much, dedication and passion that is for not only me and Marcus to know Redskins and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but your favorite team, and know just as much as you, if not a little more. And that's what makes the conversations exciting, because you know what it's like to talk to your friend group and you're talking NFL and they look at you or nod and agree, but they have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Some of the hardcore fans or friends of yours will be like, yeah, you get it. You can have those conversations and you're like, oh yeah, did you see Zach Ertz? Or yeah, did you see Carson Wentz? Or oh, did you see, Tom Brady or this or that? But then some of them are just, yeah. But you can tell there's either people that know football or they just don't. So NFL updates with the Bucs fan, the Bucs Fanatic. I thought I was the only one on planet Earth. Brandin Cooks trade with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy like Marcos Pineda and Prayer Man 2009 did. $5 each. Appreciate you. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs. You need them? We got them. Link is below every video on our YouTube page. You can also go to our GoFundMe at GoFundMe.com, type in NW, space sports, space fanatics, and donate for the dream, or Patreon.com/NWSF. You feel me? Troy Johnson Jr. What to do, my guy? Haven't seen you in a while. Robert in the building, A Guy in the building, Bird Gang in the building, Tess the best moderator in the building, Lenny D in the building. How are you guys, man? Hope you guys are having a great day. We're getting closer and closer to Friday. Your boy's sweating in here, grinding, hanging out with y'all. Cooks, Derek Tyler got traded from the Rams to where? The Texans, because they fucked up with D-Hop, and now the Cardinals are the sleeper team to make the playoffs next year that no one's really talking about either this year or next year. People talk about the Bucs with Tom Brady, but no one's talking about the Cardinals and how they could leapfrog the Rams. Yeah, I said it, the Rams and the Seahawks, and possibly get that number 2 spot behind the Niners. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? But as far as the Texans are concerned, I mean, Will Fuller can't stay healthy, and Brandin Cooks can't stay healthy, so that's what they have in common. Injury boys, right? Concussion boys with 3 Zs. I don't know how long they're going to be able to play without, getting injured, being out for the couple games or a season. Check out our Eagles vs. Chicago Bears preview video. That's what fun is all about, Bird Gang says. He said, yeah, Troy, they've gone nuts. Peace out, my friend. Tess, the best moderator in the business. I added a little bit of editing to the channel. Savage, what'd it do? So I want Patrick Queen in the draft at 24. I love Patrick Queen. Might be the most underrated defensive player in the whole entire draft. No joke. You watch the footage, about him. You read about him. Not a lot of people. And the thing is when you get those late round, first round picks, who was the best at them? Aiden Langford in the building, right? Is the Baltimore Ravens. You could go from being a playoff team, a good team, and then getting a pick from like 20 to 32. Sometimes there's some amazing talent that you can get from 20 to like 28, where you're just like, wow, how the hell did this guy drop where he was a top 15, pick, but you got him at 20 to like 27, 26. Sometimes you can get amazing studs in the first round, and that's what I think I like the most about the NFL draft is seeing what guys go 20 to 32 and that early second round, the first 10 picks that should have went in the first round but slipped. I love seeing players like that because those are the guys that have something to prove, the chip on the shoulder. You know what I mean? Just like guys that get drafted in the third round. AK-41, Alvin Kamara. You feel me? Those kind of guys. Him, Demario Davis, Alex Anzalone. I know, right? So Savage, did I tell you? So I did a tweet, right, to Demario. I did it to Levante David. It's from Pro Football Focus, talking about one of the most underrated linebackers, in football, right? So Demario Davis. It says, Levante David, 91.4 coverage grade. Best among linebackers for coverage. Levante David, very underrated. And I said in the tweet, I said, most underrated linebacker in the NFL besides Demario Davis. And I didn't even tag him at Demario Davis. And I just put hashtag big facts. And he liked it. And it was actually him, which was pretty cool. I didn't even get a response from fucking Levante David from my own goddamn team. But I got a little response back from the real, a.k.a. the Glue, that I gave him the nickname. And I told him that the people on the channel like it. Demario, a.k.a. the Glue Davis, one of the class acts in the NFL. Love his game. And that's cool that, I usually don't get too much interaction from NFL players, like real ones. You know, you'll get those fake accounts, like the fake Stephen A account, skip. But to actually have a little interaction with, even if it's just a heart on your comment or a retweet, I've gotten a few of those from LaMichael James, and that was kind of cool. And I've also, had Demario Davis and Chan, Chan from The Hangover, my boy. I've gotten some retweets and stuff from him. Dr. Ken, my boy, Ken Jong. You know what I mean? So that was kind of cool. You never know, if you're on Twitter, you never know if you reach out to someone that someone might be able to, comment back. That will surprise you. Ice-T, another one. How's Marcus? He's good. If you watched the video yesterday, he came through, Savage. I had him come over, and we did a live stream for about an hour. And like I said, I've started to do a little bit of editing on the last 4 videos, including this one. So you'll be able to see our names, some graphics. It's going to be exciting, and I kind of figured out some of the editing things that I need to do with the program. So moving forward, we should be able to have logos, maybe a virtual scoreboard for the upcoming NFL and college football season. Some, pictures, like you can see Mike Allstott stiff-arming the hell out of the San Francisco 49ers right there. And just some things that make it a little bit more visually exciting. Besides, me getting a nice background for the green screen, but, just being able to add a little flair to the show. But you missed yesterday's stream. Well, like I said, I've done a couple Bucs videos, New Jerseys, live stream, and what they should be. I did the music video that the Buccaneers put out for the New Jerseys. Did that. Did a live stream with Marcus talking about the NFL, the Redskins, the draft, and free agency. And then we're doing this video, NFL updates with the Bucs fan and Brandin Cooks. Trade to the Texans, who is going to be horrible. But they have Josh Reynolds, who can step up for the Rams. Brandin Cooks gone. Josh Reynolds in. I'll take that. And you're getting a nice compensation in return that you can use maybe for an offensive lineman or an edge rusher. I like it. But I don't know how good the Rams are going to be. Seattle might take a little bit of a dip, even though I love DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner, right? But no more Frank Clark. Jadeveon Clowney's not going to probably be back. So they could slide a little bit. And there's room for the Cardinals to make a move, even this year, with that offense. There's a chance. They need to get some more offensive line and defense. But there's a chance where they could surprise people and get to 10-7 instead of being 10-6 if we have that extra game. It could be a 9-7, 10-6, 11-6 type of team, depending on if we have 16 or 17 games or when the season starts. If we have any pushback on delays, with some of the rules, less preseason games, more regular season and whatnot. So I know when I start my YouTube channel, there's 2 things I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be about one sport, one team. I don't want it to do for a living bigger things. Yeah, and the thing is, you can do, whatever you feel comfortable with. But since we're the Northwest Sports Fanatics, we do everything. I can do AEW, WWE, NBA, NFL, MLB, because I just watch so many things. And even though, Lenny D, you might watch a lot of things, what I would do? My suggestion to you would be, Lenny D, is if you end up doing that idea, make it strictly an Eagles channel. Just do strictly Eagles. Because the thing is, you love the Eagles. You love Fly, Eagles, Fly. And just make it specifically like, EDP. You know what I mean? EDP 445. Just make it an Eagles YouTube. You know what I mean? And you'll get all the Eagles fans to back you, and you'll be able to grow a bigger fan base of Eagles fans that actually appreciate what you have to say, and you can talk with them like you talk with me, and we're on the same page, right? And you'll get fans like me that will follow you because I have the love for football and I appreciate you. And I always like to support my friends and family and, the Fanatic family on YouTube if they got something that they want to do. You know what I mean? But that's my advice to you. Strictly Eagles, nothing else. You're going to get more success that way starting in Eagles. Of course, dude. EDP, come on, man. Lenny, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Who knows more about NFL, football, social media, YouTube than your boy? Come on, bro. Like you're surprised I know who EDP is. Come on, man. He's one of the biggest figures in Philly sports. You know what I mean? This guy can come on there and talk about ridiculous, like masturbating for like 30 seconds and you'll get like 1 million views. Like who, you know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be Eagles. This guy says like the raunchiest, craziest shit, right? You know what I mean? Talking about taking a shit and it's like a 45-second video and he's got like 2 million views. Of course I know who EDP445 is. Come on, man. You know what I mean? I do my research on all the teams in the NFL and all the figures that are all over the country. So I got some respect. You feel me? Respect. EDP. You know what I mean? You can get your Eagles knowledge here. You know, even though this is not just an Eagles YouTube channel or an Eagles website. But, you know, I'll tell you what, I can give you just as much as anybody in Philly that is a hardcore Eagle fan, if not more, just with the research. But I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. You know, it's about an hour and a half in. Is there any other last, you know, NFL comments, questions, anything you guys want to talk about before? I just wanted to hop on for about 30 minutes to an hour, but I wanted to give a good live stream, you know, a good podcast, you know, so that way people that don't get to see it now, that can see it a little bit later on. And it's always going to be entertaining because you guys are the best fans on YouTube. You know, I wish I could literally sit down and watch football with all you guys because all you guys are just like me and Marcus. And it's cool to be able to vibe with people that you talk football and they understand. You're like, this guy fucking gets it. Like, this guy is not even an Eagle fan. He's a Buck fan, but he gets it. You know what I mean? And that's so refreshing now, you know what I mean, to be able to talk NFL with people that are intelligent, that actually do the research, that have the love for their team, but also with me, love for the NFL. Playoff predictions. I mean, today, I mean, it's too early. You know, I got to see who gets drafted. I got to see where Cam Newton goes. I got to be able to see where, you know, these players fall in the draft. You know, for QBs, Burrow and Tua and Herbert and Jordan Love and Cam Newton and Jameis and all these other guys. Yeah, I said Jameis Winston. And they were trying to give him credit. They were like, oh, yeah, he'll still have success. You know, and then Jameis is like, well, it took me for them to get Tom Brady. He's like, no, fucker, you sucked. You fucking sucked for the last 5 years. That's why they got rid of your ass. You're not good. Fucking Jameis. Don't take no credit for getting Tom Brady, you bum. But, I mean, obviously, Niners, Saints at the top of the divisions, the Packers, Eagles. Those were the teams that I would have just like today from what I see. And then the teams that could make some noise, you know, Seahawks, you know, possibly the Cardinals this year or next year. Rams could get back in the mix. Vikings should dip a little bit because they don't have Diggs anymore and he's on Buffalo, right? The Bucs with Tom Brady should be a contender. You don't know what you're getting from Teddy Two Gloves because you don't have Luke Kuechly there. So, I mean, I like the Bucs' chances to beat the Panthers and Falcons out and maybe get second place in the NFC South. Cowboys will try to compete with the Redskins for the number 2 spot with the Eagles, I believe. So those are the teams there. Again, Eagles, Saints, Niners. You know, that's what I'm kind of feeling. You know, based off Packers, right? But then there's always surprise teams like the Lions or the Cardinals, Bucks that might be able to make some moves, right? And then on the AFC side, do I have to say it? Chiefs all day. Chiefs Kingdom, right? Boom, right? Ravens, that's simple. Steelers could get back into the playoff mix with a healthy Big Ben. I like that. Buffalo, the Bills, I love them to be able to take over that AFC East and be the new team that dominates it. And if for some weird reason the Patriots were still able to win the division, maybe getting Justin Herbert at 23, and they win more games than the Bills by like 1, like 10-9 or 11-10. The Bills are coming. So it's their time to shine very, very soon. And then the AFC South, it could be the Titans or the Colts. You know, one of those two teams. I don't believe in the Texans or the Jags. And the Dolphins are a couple years away. So those would be my picks, you know, for the teams there. Chiefs, Ravens, Titans or Colts, Bills. Patriots could still be pretty good. So, I mean, that's just now, but I got to be able to see. Broncos, but Drew Lock is a John Elway. He's not John Elway or Peyton Manning. I got a lot of Broncos friends, you know, that are hardcore Broncos, and I tell them all day long, it's better than, you know, Brock Osweiler, Trevor Siemian, but I don't believe in Drew Lock. It's still too early, right? But I don't believe that's the type of guy that's going to get you past Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Big Ben or the Titans and Tannehill and Derrick Henry. I don't believe it. I don't. It's not good enough. You know what I mean? The Raiders are not good enough, right? The Chargers at this point aren't good enough. The teams in the AFC West are not good enough. Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, not even on the same platform or category than the Chiefs or the Ravens to me. It's really far. You know what I mean? They got a long ways to go. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it might take like 2, 3, 4 years. Let's be realistic. You know what I mean? But I love me some Diggs. You know, going to Buffalo. That's going to be huge Give Josh Allen an opportunity to show what he can do with him and Cole Beasley and John Brown and the running backs and the amazing defense that Buffalo's had for the last 5 to 10 years. They're always in the top 5 in statistics on defense. If you play fantasy football, Buffalo's always a great team to have as your defense. They always play great. Tre'Davious White, now you got a partner on the other side the Redskins got rid of, so we'll see what he can do. His best days were when he was with Carolina, but we will see. We will see what he will do. How can I get subscribers? I know it's going to take some time, but how can I get people to watch my videos? I don't know. You know what I mean? I can be in there and help promote you. You know what I mean? If people are on the channel here and, I'm on it with you or I promote you when you're on, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm in the comments and, you know what I mean? And I can teach you how to label the videos. You know what I mean? And you just have you have to have, your name. You'll have to come up with, something Eagles related, Eagles Nest, Lenny D's Eagles Nest, something, you know what I mean? You'll have something like that, like a little name, and then you'll have your, title of your live stream or videos. You know what I mean? If you have internet that's fast enough, you can just go live like how I do. People can donate, and you can have live conversation with Eagles fans, or you can upload, but you're going to have the right computer, because if you notice a lot of YouTubers, you got to have, I have an iMac, a pretty expensive one. It's like a $3,000 computer, so it's like, you can't just have any type of computer. I mean, you can have lower end computers and still do YouTube and, different social media. But if you want to do like editing or, certain iMacs are really the way to go. So if you're getting money from the government with Trump, that $1,200, if you could save up to get yourself a $2,000, $3,000 iMac, and that'll be your computer for like the next 10 years. You know what I mean? That would be something I would recommend. You know what I mean? And then, you can do uploading videos, reaction videos, live streams. I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. Whatever you want to do, man. But if you just do Eagles, you'll get all the Eagles people that'll see your videos. You just type in Philadelphia Eagles Sports Talk with Lenny D. You know what I mean? And then, you'll have your Carson Wentz in the title, Eagles, blah, 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 Eagles Fanatic. You'll just have to have certain hashtags and certain titles to the video. And then you'll be surprised on how many Philly fans there are. I mean, when we started our first season on YouTube, 2017, right? Eagles fans were through the roof, and that's probably when you came along, when the Eagles had their run and they ended up, going to doing big things, 2017, 2018, around that time period. So when they made their run and then won the Super Bowl. So and this is coming from a guy who hated Josh Allen at first, but the second half of his rookie year, he started to impress me a lot more. Now I have a man crush on him. I know. And the thing is Josh Allen, he's got more talent around him. The defense has always been great, decent O-line, good running game. It's just about his accuracy. When those big games against the Patriots, a lot of overthrows, underthrows, kind of like Justin Herbert. I kind of put him in the same category where you see a lot of raw potential. Josh Allen had a really strong arm like Mahomes. He could throw the deep ball. He could throw in the combine in college at Wyoming 60, 70 yards, but he was really inaccurate at times, but he had the arm, and you saw that gunslinger mentality. But now he can work on just being more patient in the pocket, trusting his legs, trusting his vision, and having a better wide receiver in Diggs than Cole Beasley, and John Brown is going to fucking help tremendously, right? But he is a guy that, has grown. He's still going to have growing pains, but when you have a great team around you and great coaching with Coach McDermott, they got something going brewing there. And I could see the Bills making an AFC championship game appearance within the next 6 years. I definitely could see them, making a run at some point, like winning the AFC East for a couple years in a row over the Patriots. Dolphins will be coming up. Jets will still be booty bad, right? But I could see them, making a push, and it could be winning the AFC East this season. I love the Buffalo Bills, and I do like Josh Allen a lot, and I like him more than Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. But again, if Sam Darnold was on the Bills or Baker was on the Bills, you'd have a little bit more love for that player too, because they got better teammates around him. Baker don't got shit around him, a bunch of egos and divas, and Sam Darnold don't got fucking nothing except for my favorite safety in the league, right? Jamal Adams. That's about fucking it. Sad. What do I think about the Ravens flock? I love them. I love everything that they've been doing. Calais Campbell, are you fucking kidding me for a 5th rounder? This is the team that should have not stumbled and lost to the Titans, but the Titans were the hottest team, in December with Tannehill taking over. in that, October, November period, and you just ran into a heavyweight champ. You ran into Mike Tyson. You ran into, the A-Train, Mike Allstott, like on my screen, and they just ran you over, right? But the Ravens were the better team all year. It should have been Ravens, right? Chiefs. And who knows what would have happened. I know Mahomes, it was almost destined for that Super Bowl, but if anyone could have clipped him, to me, it was the Ravens. Would have had the best legitimate shot. Great coaching with Coach Harbaugh, top 5 coach in the league, and he has been for a long, long time. Way better than his brother Jim, right? He knows how to develop talent, change the whole scheme, got rid of Flacco, Lamar Jackson, the new wave, Action Jackson, got Mark Ingram, great pickup in free agency, showed you how much that the Saints needed him, and that was the downfall to the Saints not having that same type of player and making AK-41 RB1 when he was RB2 to Mark Ingram, and how Mark Ingram dominated pretty much the whole season. But when he got banged up and hurt, it really hurt Lamar Jackson's game. It shows you there's a correlation between, amazing quarterback, Lamar Jackson, but if you don't got that stable running back to help you out and bail you out when you have a bad game, 80, 90, 100, 110 yards, it really does open up the offense and keeps them honest, the defense, so that way that he can go down to Mark Andrews and he can make plays, to Hollywood Brown, all the weapons that they have. And they're going to keep getting better and better and better. And the Ravens will be Super Bowl champs, to me, within the next 5 years, because it's going to be one of those things where you might lose to the Chiefs a couple more times or another team that surprises you like the Titans again. But I really want to see the Ravens clip the Chiefs down the road to be able to have our Super Bowl in the AFC Championship game, to feel that emotion, to finally overcome and beat the better team in the Chiefs, and then whoever you play, in the NFC will be a wrap. Kind of like when you guys played the Niners. It was that Ray Lewis emotion. When you had Ray Lewis, you knew you were going to win that Super Bowl against the Niners. At least I did. That was the X factor. That passion, that energy. Do it for Ray. Do it for the Ravens. Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. Get out of here with that, Two of my favorite players of all time. I'm a Derek Brooks guy. I'm a Ray Lewis guy, Ed Reed guy, Troy Polamalu guy, John Lynch guy. I love safeties and corners, linebackers, middle or outside. Derek Brooks. Feel me? Oh, yeah. Come on, man. And I watch a lot of film, Troy. You know what I mean? I probably watch more film than anyone on planet fucking Earth, even these fucking scouts. Every fucking day I'm reading 6 to 8 hours a day on Twitter, Bleacher, ESPN, every NFL app, everything, every team. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's definite hope there. You're going to get over the hump. The Ravens will be champs within the next, I would say, 5 to 6 years. They should be able to get to at least the Super Bowl one time. Your ultimate goal with Lamar Jackson competing with the Chiefs is that in the next 10 years, you're going to want to try to get to at least 2 Super Bowls. Win one, maybe lose one, but that should be the ultimate goal for the Ravens, having an elite team in the NFL. This is like last year was year 1. Of really putting it together with Mark Ingram. Now you got about 3 more years or 4 more years with Lamar, in his peak. And then after that, we'll have to see on the money. And, but Ozzie Newsome is great. To me, he was one of the best GMs in football. They always got the most value with their picks every year. And he's still in the organization, in the building, but he doesn't have the same role. But I don't think anyone did it better than Ozzie Newsome. And that's me being a Bucs fan. You know what I'm talking about. I do my research. So Jordan Love, he's got a high ceiling. He's got potential, to be a poor man's Mahomes, but I don't think he's going to be necessarily better than Tua, Herbert, or Burrow. Burrow could stumble because the Bengals' O-line is trash. Tua could stumble with the Dolphins or Redskins or wherever he falls because of the injuries. Herbert could stumble if he doesn't go to the Patriots and changes the mechanics a little bit so he doesn't have the Josh Allen syndrome where he overthrows or underthrows balls that he should complete. But it takes time for those guys to develop. But I think those 3 are far better. And that's not even me being an Oregon Ducks super fanatic of Herbert. I like Trevor Lawrence the best out of those 4 or 5. Trevor Lawrence 1, Burrow, Tua, Herbert, Jordan Love. You know what I mean? But you want those guys to be good. You don't want them to fail. You want the NFL to bring in the new breed. Roethlisberger, Breeze, Brady. These guys are Phillip Rivers. They're moving on soon. We need to be able to have some new blood in there. I want them to be great. I want Burrow to be, like what Roethlisberger is to the Steelers, in that type of division. I want Burrow to be a staple, be the John Elway of the Cincinnati Bengals, be the Boomer Esiason of the Bengals of this generation. I'm hoping, not a Baker Mayfield in the Browns, but someone a little bit more successful. That's what you want. Tua, Dolphins, putting them back on the map since Dan Marino would be great. Chargers, getting someone from Drew Brees to Phillip Rivers to Herbert, or the Patriots grab him at 23, and Herbert's the Tom Brady, heir apparent, would be great. Jordan Love could go to the Colts or the Saints and end up starting in a couple years after they learn from a Hall of Famer, Phillip Rivers or Drew Brees. It's possible. Or it could be a surprise team. So how about them Bucs jerseys? I love them. Red, white, pewter, the gray. The thing is like, I've never been a Brady guy. Even though Tom Brady's on my Bucs now, it's starting really to sink in. You know what I mean? But I can't really buy a Brady jersey. But I seen Good Morning Football, a lot of the Schrags, and they ended up having a show, obviously through like a live stream at each of their houses or apartments. They had Kay Adams on there and Schrags, and they were going over, the jerseys that the Buccaneers sent them. They're nice. The white Brady. It's like, God, I don't want to buy a jersey of a guy that just came over, because I typically never do that, right? Besides like Simeon Rice, because that was defense. But God, the white Brady is just, man, it's something else. But I still have others on my list, that I don't have a Mike Evans jersey or a Godwin, which I should probably have at some point. I like Devin White. I'm a linebacker guy from LSU, rookie last year. That would have been the jersey I would probably buy at some point. I have Levante David. He's my favorite player on the team. Leader, linebacker, love him. But I don't really buy offensive player jerseys, especially if they don't get drafted by the Bucs. But there is a possibility I might buy a white Brady and just add it to the collection and throw it in the closet, because down the road it'll be a throwback. But I would rather get, to be honest, a Mike Allstott sewn jersey, Russell Athletic Reebok from back in the day first, a white one, the one that you see on the screen. That's the one I want. That's the jersey that I want first, right? That, and then maybe another Sap. John Lynch, Rondé Barber, I want those. I'd want those first, because I already have a Sapp and a Brooks and a Simeon Rice, but I would love to have an Allstott, a Lynch, and a Rondé Barber. Then maybe going to Tom Brady or Evans or Godwin or Devin White. But yeah, I do like the jerseys a lot. They're nice. He won't have to deflate them. He won't. Phillip Rivers with the Colts is the most underrated move of the offseason among QBs that are moved. Do I agree? Yeah, the thing is that a lot of people will think that he can't play anymore because he had the most interceptions with Jameis Winston. He does throw a lot of picks now. He's a little older. He kind of forces it a little bit more than we're used to. And he had great talent around him, Keenan Allen and all the rest of the receivers that they've had that have moved on to different teams. But the Colts have a great O-line, a decent running game with Marlon Mack. They need wide receivers, and they lost Ebron, so that's going to be something they need to acknowledge in the draft. Get someone other than T.Y., get a tight end, get another outside receiver to help complement T.Y. But the O-line with Quentin Nelson is fucking amazing, and the defense is good too. So it is one of those moves where they could win the division. They're going to be battling the Titans for the spot of the AFC South crown, and it'll just depend on who's playing better, Ryan Tannehill and their squad collectively as a defense and an offensive unit, which is nice, right? Or the Phillip Rivers squad that's a little bit older, right, with some young pieces sprinkled in like Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, that can maybe bring some flair and flash and get them back to the postseason. But I definitely think it's a little underrated. But also, too, Tom Brady to the Bucs, I mean, I think he really – something could happen here, you know what I mean? I have these like ESP moments, and you know what I mean, Griffey, Randy Johnson, Ichiro, Edgar Martinez, Dame Lillard, Drexler, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, now Tom Brady. I was a Joe Montana guy. There could be a little magic, but I want to see a great NFL season, and I hope we don't have any pushback. I hope we don't have any delays in the college football season or the NFL season. But yeah, Lenny D, I can help you, man. If you need to personally message me, on my email or whatever, I can help you with the walkthroughs. But getting a good computer will be first. You have to have the dedication. If you just do a part-time channel, you're never going to grow. It's either you're all in or you're not. You know what I mean? That's my advice for you. If you want to really get to know the Eagles fans and have a Northwest Sports Fanatics fan base like you do for your channel with the Eagles, and you do all Eagles, you got to record a lot. You really got to engage with the fan base. Do videos, but then also do live streams, because that'll give you an opportunity to earn donations like how we do here, and just to be able to have the conversations live with the fans. That's the part of why this channel is so great, where you can engage. When the first 2 years we did the channel, we only did reaction videos because Marcus's internet was too slow, and we couldn't do live streams. So we didn't get to really know the fans. But now, since July, since I started doing live streams and moving the equipment to my house, to be able to get to know so many of you on more of a personal level. Some of you guys have my phone number, and some of us talk, and, being able to talk football, it just makes it so much better. I wish that we would have had the faster internet back then to do live streams and reaction videos. When we first started the channel, we probably would be at a higher number as far as, subscribers and views, but it's okay. It's a process. Reaction videos, live streams, some editing, it takes time, but, we've been grinding since 2013, overall, on YouTube since 2017, so this will be our 4th season for the NFL, and I'm excited, man. You're not going to find a more entertaining, educating, broadcast, period, on YouTube. So, but I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Is there anything else that you guys want to touch on before I take off? Because like I said, I'm going to, do some more reading. I want to watch some more tape. I want to go over some more film of Ruggs and some of the offensive linemen. So, it doesn't stop for me. And I work today from, 7 to 4. So I'm exhausted. You couldn't tell in my energy and my passion, in the live stream that I'm totally exhausted. But I really do get up for these moments that we have when we can talk with each other. So, but I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll buy a white Brady and probably a gray Godwin. Woo! That man, Derek Davis. I'm telling you, these jerseys, though, I got a lot of the red already. So if I buy a jersey, it'll be like a white Brady. And then if I end up getting like the charcoal gray, that'll probably be like Devin White or Levante David, if I end up going that route. Because I want to get the white pops. The white looks so clean. And I have a lot of red jerseys as it is. But, if I was going to end up getting the players, it would definitely be white Brady with the red numbers. That looks so clean. And then end up getting a white Levante David or, Evans or Godwin. Or I just don't like getting offensive players. I'm a defensive guy, so that's my problem. I'm not like everyone else. I'd rather have defensive player jerseys, rather than offense. Unless it's someone like Tom Brady, which is kind of an exception. So, but I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. NFL updates with the Bucs fan and the Brandin Cooks trade going to the Texans. Josh Reynolds is going to be able to step up in his absence. Him, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. It's going to be exciting to see where they go. The Cardinals go with Kyler Murray and D-Hop there. DeAndre Hopkins, top 2 wide receiver in the league, and the rest of the NFC West. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on our YouTube page. So today is Thursday. I hope everyone is having a great night. I'm going to end the stream. Make sure you guys are safe with the Rona going around. Be safe out there. Wash some hands. And I will be back probably tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. And then hopefully I can get Marcus back in the building. And anything NFL-wise, I'll be doing the live stream. And if you guys can support, share the channel, share the broadcast, tell some friends or family that love NFL. If they want to watch something that's unbiased, unfiltered, you're going to learn something and have fun and obviously be entertained. It's Orion and Marcus and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. So I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, the Northwest Sports Fanatics. And I'm out. Have a great night, guys. Peace.